Welcome to Sissues. We are two sisters with issues and a need to work them out, and we're inviting you along for the ride.
Here we are taking the big things we have in common. Our love for Outlander, inappropriate humor, and why people do the things they do. Mix this up with our dirty lady mo's, and this podcast is born.
But don't worry, we'll explore other issues too.
Because you know,
when you have sisters, you have issues.
If you are easily offended or don't appreciate the creative use of colorful Canadian cursive language, this is not the podcast for you.
Well, hello everybody. How you doing, Cher?
I'm peachy. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing great. Well, welcome back to Sissues, everybody. We're back at our Outlander rewatch. We are in season 5. We are doing episode 6 today. Better to marry than burn.
It's pretty much better to do anything than burn, right?
Right? Yeah, I would think so.
I don't like burning. Burning is my least favorite thing.
And I think, you're thinking, okay, but what about the fried chicken? You burn that. I'm pretty damn sure that chicken didn't want to burn either.
No, nobody wants to burn. Burning's bad.
Yeah, burning's bad.
Bad. Especially now. We're in burning times. The planet is on fire, people.
Yes, it is. And it's warm today.
Literally, Bernie. It's 32 degrees.
But I put a sweater on because I'm cold.
Because you are ridiculous. You're also in my basement, and my basement is very cool.
Yeah, so the cage I'm in right now is about a 12 by 12, and no, I'm just kidding.
If I could put you in a cage, it'd be much smaller than that.
Haha, bite my left elbow.
Nope.
Anyway. Okay, guys, if you are watching via Netflix, you'll want to skip the recap, go directly to the song. It is not a cold open. And Miss Cher, you want to la 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 us down?
La, 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 la. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and count down to 1. And when I get to 1, all you peeps is going to press play. Okay? 3, 2, 1. There you go.
It sounded like you sneezed or something.
I can make all sorts of noises. You have no idea the kinds of noises that I can make.
Oh, I hear quite a few of them. The other ones, not that interested in. But thanks. They look so funny when they're running across the beach. They're so tiny.
People, it's just
yeah, exactly.
And you've got some tarot cards. You want to read me some tarot cards?
I could pretend to read you some tarot cards. Have you ever had your tarot cards read?
Well, it's pretty much everybody's pretending to read you tarot cards. Tarot cards are pretend.
No, but I mean, have you ever?
Yes, I've had my cards read to me before. Yes, yeah.
Never in my entire life ever.
Really? No,
yeah.
I've done it a couple of times. I've gone to just for shiggles, of course. They've never really.
So no, not me.
I don't remember what they really say. I don't really remember because it's I read people very well, so it's bullshitters can spot bullshitters. So.
Some live and die by the craft, though.
Yeah.
So,
When you're raised by a liar, you tend to be able to spot them very easily.
This is true. This is very true.
Yep.
So Scotland, 1746. So this is
what are we doing back here, guys?
Right?
What's this got? What's going on here?
Very nice carriage. I was completely lost. I'm like, oh, did they go back to Scotland? Hold on. The time, it doesn't make any sense. What is going on? Why didn't we go back to the U.S.? Why are we going back in time in Scotland?
Well, that's where everybody, what? This is way back in time.
Yeah.
So, we got some red coats happening. Who is in the carriage?
But I wonder, it's
Mhm.
not like we've seen it before.
Well, we haven't.
No.
This guy looks like bird shit on his shoulder.
Right? He's pretty
Mm.
dirty. He's been out for a long time, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. They look rode hard and put away wet.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So as soon as he said his name, I knew who he was right away.
Well, good because that
Yeah.
was the clear indication who he was by saying his name.
Very good. But
Jocasta.
Jocasta, she looks wonderful. She looks so fresh and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it with her hair down. She
Yeah.
looks very young, right?
Well, and she's got the red hair, right? She's
Yeah,
got the the flaming reds.
yeah,
So we know Jamie comes by it honestly.
yeah. Oh, I finished the Fiery Cross last night.
Squirrel, good job.
Sorry.
Mm. Was it a good ending?
It was. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize they wrapped two things in one because they were
Mm-hmm.
separate in the show, but it was good.
Yeah.
Now on to A Breath of Snow of Ashes.
Snow and ashes.
Yes, that's what I meant, but my tongue
Yeah.
got stuck.
Oh,
Oh, just
she's
like her foot did.
her foot got stuck. Oopsie.
Yeah.
She's a very pretty young lady.
I was just gonna say, I love her eyes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what
Uh-oh.
has he spotted? Oh dear.
Yikes.
Now,
And look,
this is supposed to be the Frenchman's gold,
mhm.
right? So it was Hector had a third, and there was another guy that had a third, and another guy that had a third.
Yeah.
And so from the books, our idea of what the gold was a hell of a lot more than what's, so the expectation is like this great big huge amount, and then the reality is this little chest full. And the howl that came out of Jocasta there was just like,
Yeah.
ugh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine, how
Killing
what she
somebody.
must be going through
Yeah.
because she had no idea about the gold. It was
Mm-hmm.
completely surprise to her. Oh.
She's
What do
just
you mean?
in complete shock. Like and this isn't, he really doesn't give a shit.
No, he
They
doesn't.
they left her other children as well.
Yeah.
Um, so this wasn't her only daughter. She
No.
had two other daughters that they're leaving behind. But,
Yeah.
to leave her like laying there on the side of the road dead.
Just like a
Like,
dead animal just
uh-huh.
laying there.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he
I
doesn't
would
care.
never fucking forgive him for that. No
No.
way.
I'm telling you, I hope she got to America and killed his ass.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let the pox be with you, man.
Yep, exactly.
Mm.
I'm sure there was no love loss after that. So
No. And here's Duncan Innes.
this makes me laugh every time I see her with him. It's like, okay.
Well, this is, he was much different in the books, of course, and he's lost
Yeah.
his hand and all that stuff. He's very doting,
Yes.
he, had this little pillow made to help with her migraines because of, her issues with her glaucoma that, she
I
gets
thought
migraines.
that was very sweet of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was something, from the books or whatever. And,
Yep.
but Duncan Innes was a much different character. He was in, the jail. I can't find my words today. With
He was
Jamie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
they were there together
Mm-hmm.
and they had, years of fighting together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and he was kind of Jamie's right hand man.
yeah, only it's missing.
But that's not the story of him. They didn't give him much of a backstory at all. All of a sudden, Duncan Innes just showed up and he was marrying Jocasta. So
it was Ardsmere.
Ardsmere, there, thank you.
Yeah.
And we got Ulysses looking at him like, okay, this this little chump is going to marry Jocasta. And it's just, Duncan is like well-meaning enough. See, Ulysses has a face on him like, well, all right.
Yeah.
He'll do. He's a bit of a squishy monster, but all right.
Yeah.
It's more like Duncan serves a purpose.
Exactly, right? Because there shouldn't be a woman her age unmarried or whatever it is. But I love how her conversation with Duncan is very small, but yet it's much bigger with Ulysses,
Yeah. And there's more respect. Like, she doesn't have very much respect for Duncan. She's like, it's more like tolerating him.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. There's Jamie. I wondered, what are you doing at River Run? So.
Yeah. And this seems like a little, I found this a little odd, I guess you could call it, that Jamie, because Jamie didn't want anything to do with River Run at all, but he's more than happy to have everything signed over to Jem.
Yeah. Well, I think because it's his daughter's child, right? I think that makes him a little bit more excited. I
still think it was weird. Like, I mean, that it's, and especially since Roger was like, take it and cram it, old lady. Like,
No, and I totally get that. I just think that Jamie, for the sake of the estate, wants to see it stay in the family. So, and no one has to take it for quite a while, because, Jamie's not going to take it over tomorrow. So,
yeah, I still think it's kind of bananas that Jamie's like there and like, okay, let me do this.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of wackadoodle.
Well, and that pipsqueak man, I just want to throttle him,
Forbes.
Yeah.
Oh, Forbes.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
No. It's really kind of funny because, he seems like, I was surprised that Forbes wasn't, going after Jocasta. Like, he was going pretty hard after Brianna.
Right.
Like why wouldn't he start going after Jocasta? Like,
well, she's the main source of the money, so I'm surprised that he didn't.
Yeah.
He's already earned her trust. Right? Because they're friends.
Yeah, he was an awful, doesn't seem to have many scruples, as we learn later on in this episode.
Yeah. It's like he completely changed his tune, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No.
And then these two are left on the ridge to, take care of business. And they they managed very well. Oh, there's Adso.
Yeah. Adso playing with a little toy.
Not
one of a gazillion toys. And free to you, not brought to you by Hasbro.
No, brought to you by Jesus.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Praise be.
Yeah, what the hell? These are grasshoppers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we call them grasshoppers.
Do you remember seeing grasshoppers? I haven't seen grasshoppers in a really long time, but I remember when we used to live in the Maritimes, there used to be a lot of them.
Oh, there's lots of them in Manitoba too.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah, we still they're more in the in the rural areas. I don't see a whole lot of them in the city, but there's still tons of them. I find them in my grill after we've gone for a drive.
Well, your boobs, they get stuck in your teeth and stuff, or
yeah, because I wear a grill in my teeth as a 49-year-old white broad. That happens all the time. Wanker.
Grasshoppers get up in your grill, man.
You're whacked. I think they look beautiful.
I think so too. Imagine that setup, like on the other side of the river. Like, oh my God,
Mm,
that must have taken forever.
yep, absolutely. Uh, but they do. They look gorgeous in their get-ups.
Yeah.
Mm, Uh, but yeah, imagine taking all of that time
Hmm.
for all of the costumes for like this one episode
Yeah.
uh, to Costa's wedding.
I wonder how long it took them to shoot that.
Oh, I don't
Because
know.
that's a big chunk that they've had to shoot
Hmm.
on,
Yeah,
right? From the house right down to this big, huge setup across the river. So,
yeah, for sure. And then, like we've got his ponytail looks a little ratty, doesn't it?
oh, at least that pineapple isn't upside down.
Nope, and it's painted gold.
Yep. But
How
do you know what
pretty.
that means, an upside down pineapple?
I don't know.
It means you're a swinger.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Oh, look at that. He's all bent over and looking hot, hot, hot. All the girls are like, woohoo. And he's like,
Exit
thanks.
stage left.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know what all these girls are wanting.
Just the
Uh,
look on his face is like, oh
yeah.
God, can I get away from these women? Jeez, he has an audience,
It's like they're awful thirsty around here. Uh,
right?
you just
He's
saved
not happy.
me.
I like how their relationship has really developed, the three of them.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
they're not, Claire and John aren't throwing side eyes at each other all the time anymore, which is nice that they've graduated to being
yes.
grown-ups.
Well, and it's, now just the everybody loves Jamie show.
Hmm. Yeah. And well, she's like, oh wow, I'm impressed that Tryon actually has a beautiful, smart wife. How'd you manage that, buddy?
Right?
Yeah,
I
uh,
actually quite like her
I
because,
do.
she's high society, but she's just very nice.
Hmm.
I really like her character.
Yeah,
I'm
and
glad they didn't make her a twat.
yeah, and well, unlike her husband,
Yes,
like
exactly.
how'd she get stuck with him?
Hmm.
Uh, I'm gathering it wasn't a marriage of love.
Oh, there's sausages on the side of his head.
Uh-huh.
There's lots of it there.
Yep,
Oh, Tryon
sure
has more
is.
sausage.
He does. He has more
Hmm.
rolled sausages.
Yeah.
We are recording this on Tim Downey's birthday.
Oh, is it his birthday
It
today?
is. It is July
Happy
14th.
birthday to
Please
you.
don't. He's not
Happy
listening.
birthday
You don't
to
have to do that.
you.
I'm just saying that for
Happy
everybody else.
birthday,
Oh,
dear
for
Tim
God's sakes.
Downey. Happy birthday
Oh,
to
you
you
really, she
and
didn't have
many
to do that. I
more.
apologize to everybody listening. That's completely my fault, and I take full responsibility for this bitch's craziness.
Well, we'll just have to tag him in this and just let him know that we've done a special episode just for him.
We did not, and if the 1 in 1 million chance that he does listen to this and heard that display of disgrace, I
He'll
apologize,
want an encore.
Mr. Tim Downey. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. And that's not a Canadian, I'm sorry. That was a real apology on my behalf.
You're just kidding. You're
Thing.
such a
Well, let's
jokester.
move around. Let's move on and talk about these two lovely ladies with their boozy booze, and they're going to go gossip.
Well,
They're
and
gonna
I'm
go,
glad
they're
that
going to go
Claire.
spill some tea.
I'm glad Claire has someone to chit chat with.
Oh,
So,
here we see.
Yep, grasshoppers flying around.
They are locusts,
Locusts.
which are grasshoppers.
Yeah.
And people are pissed. Roger's
Yep.
back at going, okay, they left me in charge. And naturally, we don't have to have people, coming after this and coming after that. Now I've got a biblical fucking atrocity on my hands. Thanks, God.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? In all honesty, I thought Roger did a really great job. Like I know their question. They have no respect for Roger at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll eventually redeem himself, but
Mm-hmm.
they need to
They do. And Archbug,
and let's come up with a solution.
right. Archbug is standing there to his left, and he's like, you know, and you've got Fergus sitting in the window, like window dressing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing that I thought with Fergus there. See, look at him. He's just got this look on his face, like, I don't know, he's gonna fix this. But they've got him sitting in the window, like window dressing, and it was just like, it was so infuriating to me. I was like, take fucking Fergus out of that goddamn window right now, because he is so much more than window dressing. Oh, and she's like, what in the hell is this pompous looking thing coming growing up? Got more powder on his face.
I wanted to see him fall in the river.
Right.
That would have been nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It's Philip Wiley, a powdered poofda. Yes. Oh, he looks like a cartoon character. Oh,
well, especially wandering around with his cane, and he's got more makeup than the women do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Claire does not often judge people. Like, she is not a very judgy, like the people that she judges are like quack doctors and, you know, women who are, you know, talking down to people, and, you know, or other men who are talking down to her. Like, those are the people she judges. So it's usually a pretty fair judgment that she's making. So to see her judging somebody on appearances was a little strange.
Yeah.
And now she's listening to them talking about Dr. Rawlings.
That made me laugh that she was just standing there eavesdropping on their conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would too.
That just, well, we do it a little bit more discreetly.
Yeah. But we know what kind of actor Claire is.
Yeah.
She's a shitty actor.
She's a very bad actor.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying
Katrina.
Yeah. We're just saying
Claire.
Exactly. She is not a shitty actor. Claire is a shitty actor.
Yes. Claire.
Oh my God.
Claire couldn't act at it.
His face looks so elongated, like
I know.
a shoe at the bottom.
Right? His face looks like a moon. But the thing is that if you look at pictures of this guy in real life, I didn't bring in my list of people's actual names. Shoot. But
yeah.
Philip White, like the guy that plays it, he looks nothing like this in real life. Like the teeth, the nose, the chin, the everything. He's a decent looking dude in real life.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's just
and the mole.
Yeah. and his obsession with Claire is just like creepy.
Oh, it's
just see him look at her is like bleh.
Yeah, it's so like 1980s teen film movie.
Yeah,
it's so gross.
Miss Bug is gonna be cleaning those bugs up for a long time.
She sure is. Yeah, and you can just see them flying through the air everywhere, and yeah. And she's like, "You can figure this out. We can figure this out." And that's the thing.
And at least they knew a little bit about them so that they could come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it took. Thinking and contemplating and thinking out of the box a little bit.
And Roger always going back to what he knows as far as, the Bible, and he can't make decisions in the moment. He's got to have time to think about it. We've talked about this before, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's the smart way to go about life. Don't react, you be a little bit proactive, but you have to sit with something for a little while. We don't make our best decisions when we react to something. So it's it's like when you go to when you read something on Twitter, or you get an email, or you want to fire something back right away. Don't do that. Like,
wait.
if you're really angry, wait a little while.
Yeah.
And
Because
then,
all people will hear is anger. They won't actually
mhm,
hear your actual
well, and a lot of the times we're
opinion.
responding with a lot of anger.
Of course.
So, take some time to chill. Like type it all out, but don't send
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Go
Just,
and leave it for a few hours and then, or even overnight, and then go back to it.
yeah.
Uh,
This cracks me up so much. So that's his tent. And you
yeah.
notice all the furniture in his tent. So that had to be hauled off there with him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's hilarious.
Everywhere he goes, a big old wagon
Yep.
to haul all of his personal items. Oh, look
Jimmy
at
has
that
a bow
little
in his
little
hair.
rocking chair. Yeah, he does. And his wig looks like a little bit of a rat's nest underneath his bow. It's like
I
little
don't like Jamie in a bow.
mm, mm,
I don't like him in a bow. And I know it's a special occasion.
yeah.
I get that. I still
Mm,
don't like the bow. But that's just my opinion.
that's just your opinion and it is
That's all.
valueless right now. Thank you.
Jamie has his hand behind his back. I wonder what the significance of that is.
I think that's just them being all fancy dancy pantsy. It's like them
Yeah.
being like, I'm standing up straight and I'm wearing this fancy clothes and this bow in my hair.
Yeah. There we go.
I think that's kind of, we should do that to remind us to stand up straight.
Yes, we should. Because
But
sometimes
then,
we get too far from our mic and I just kind of lay in my chair and
well, I
just all
didn't mean right now.
relaxed.
I meant when we're in public and.
Oh, I like when I get into a car, the seat goes straight up and down.
Ooh,
Like,
you're
oh
one
yeah,
of
like
those
straight
people.
up and down. Yeah,
So
I'm one
when
of
I get
those.
into your car, I sit in your seat and I go, oh my God, who was sitting in this seat?
Yep, that's
Because
me.
it's straight up and down. And I'm like, ew, I hate this.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, look, this is shit.
Oh, shite. What could this be?
Ooh, gross. Oh,
Yeah,
forgot
shite. Yeah,
Paul
fill in
Gorman
the
was it. So Josiah was helping them out there
Helen and shovel shit,
and helping him.
right?
This little shitty job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I love how he comes up with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it will burn, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, well, that's what they need. Oh my God. Can you imagine how bad that would smell?
Oh yeah.
And Brianna's just kind of like, good.
Let
Thanks.
me help you stir this crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Jeez.
thanks. Appreciate you asking me to help you with this, buddy.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then now Brianna, he's come up with this whole plan, but now Brianna is going to be able to help with it, right? Because
right.
remember, she's the engineer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and see, this is why it's so nice to have. I love this. She's like,
Yeah.
go ahead and shovel the shit, baby.
I got stuff to do.
And see, this is why it's so nice to have a smart wife.
I
Right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I know my husband's very lucky.
Yeah, so is mine. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Wiley again.
Oh, God. And he just goes right into like skeeve mode, right?
I don't think he ever comes out of it.
Well, he was walking
what I mean?
perfectly normal until he saw her. And then he was just like, yeah, it was like gnarly. She's like,
Yeah.
oh God, not another one. Like, I really like just to, like, I'm trying to walk in a pretty wide berth here, buddy. Do you mind?
I'm telling you, I would have taken him out the first time he tried to block where I was going.
Uh-huh. Yep. And she's just like, yeah, yeah, let me just, So when Claire is faced with an obstacle, either she does go through it,
yeah,
or she figures out a way to use it to her benefit. And this is where she's finding a way to use it to her benefit. She figures, oh, okay, we're going to figure out a way to, get to...
And of course, this didn't happen in the book. It was Jamie who made the arrangements to see Stephen Bonnet. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. But there was a much bigger story.
Yes.
Wiley and, and the whole, with horses and you know, him embarrassing Wiley, and so it was it was a it was pretty funny. It was, it was something I really enjoyed in the books. They condensed it pretty spectacularly in this episode. There was a lot of hit and misses, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But all in all, I don't think they did a horrible job adapting it.
Yeah. And you see, because I watched the series first before I read that part of the book, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, it didn't quite, show how the show did. And, I'm like, it's just a part,
Yeah.
it's not spectacular or anything
Mm,
like that. So,
yeah. It's I think Wiley did, like, this guy did a really good job of portraying this pompous shithead.
yes. I just think they gave him too much time, I guess,
Mm,
for me. But
yeah.
I understand in order to show how slimy he was, it was necessary. But
Yeah. Mm,
don't look at me like that. I couldn't handle that.
yeah. And
Yucky.
I mean, there's, I guess, for trying to, coerce a meeting with Bonnet,
Hmm.
that doesn't look like it's, Jamie setting it up, or, trying to make it, okay, I get it.
Yeah. And he
And
was eyeballing her rings before, but he didn't say anything. As she was pouring him a glass,
mhm,
he was eyeballing both of her rings. So,
right. Well, yeah, to see, like, well, I imagine how he knew she was married,
yeah.
right? But I'm not sure how one wears their rings would show the amount of commitment they have to their spouse.
Yeah.
But whatever. Uh,
And I don't think he's particularly enjoying this conversation about business with her
no,
because that's not what he wants from her. He doesn't want to be having this conversation,
no.
but she now has to put on the beautiful eyes to reel him back in, right?
Yeah. And,
So,
well, Claire knows it's not going anywhere, but,
yeah,
you know, this idiot couldn't
yuck.
be,
And he needs to sit up straight because he slouches way too much.
well, it's his neck. It's like he
Yeah.
just brings his neck forward to, when he talks. It's like, ugh. I think it gives him some lecherous kind of, you know.
Yeah,
mm. And
exactly.
here we go, burning all the pots and keeping. Yeah, this is how we try and keep them away from keep the locusts away from the. Oh my goodness, I gotta yawn.
And you see, this is how it used to work. It
Mm,
used to work, there wasn't a government,
mhm.
they used to work as a village or whatever together, you know, and everybody did it. And everybody did well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and of course, everybody's coming together to, ward off these locusts. So, but everybody's in. There's nobody
Yeah.
sitting on the sidelines. No, I'm not
Hmm.
going to do that. That's not going to work. They're
Yeah.
in there. They're doing it. There's no
Hmm.
guarantee, but they're
Yeah.
doing it.
Somebody comes up with a plan, and the plan is followed. And this
Yeah.
is the shot that they use in the title cards.
Yeah.
Uh, and we've got, like, Marcelly and Fergus were in the fields together.
Yep.
Marcelly very pregnant again.
Yeah.
And this was one of the scenes that was, really funny in the books.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think it came off as great. I think it was just the lack of room and the lack of, like, and I'm not sure that the guy who's playing Wiley and Katrina had that kind of chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
um, to make it, like, yeah.
She would have belted him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have just pushed him like that.
Yeah.
Claire would have punched his ass out.
Yeah, I think she would have backhanded him. I think it was, but yeah, I just don't think there was enough room in it. Like, where did Jamie come from?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all just kind of very, it's like a hodgepodge kind of scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
In your yeah,
it's just not believable. I'm
right.
sorry. I'm like the biggest fan, and I will talk myself out of anything.
Yeah.
But that was just, for me, it was just a little cheesy scene. That's all.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, you scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are pretty pale.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget to wipe the crap off the back of your shirt.
Right.
Jacket, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I don't like that hug. It was so ingenuine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and in the books, the mole got stuck on her face, and
yeah,
it was just, and see, I think even I think Kat had even said that was probably her least favorite scene in the whole season.
Yeah, and I could see it.
And I think it's because it was just, I don't think that they had a lot of time to work it. I don't think that they had, it just was off.
It felt off to me, rewatching it and talking about it when I rewatched it a couple of times.
20.
No, 20. I wish 20. Yeah, it just, the more and more I watched it, the more and more I realized.
Yeah. The first time I watched it, I loved it. Like, because every time I watch it for the first time, I love it. Like, it's just one of those, because I'm so stuck in it, right? I'm one with the show the first time through. And, I have, like, I try not to watch it at all with a critical eye. Put on your fucking bandana, dude.
They're creating a lot of smoke.
Oh, for sure. This'll choke them out.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of that is added,
of course.
It's CGI.
But now you can see it coming.
Here's your swarm of locusts. Going. Keep your fires going.
Keep it going. That's what's going to keep them up. They won't land.
They won't land if there's too much smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is, and then of course, when they're coming over, you don't exactly want them landing on you.
Yeah, and look, it like almost blackens the sky, right? Because there's so many of them.
Yeah,
it blocks out the sun.
And this happened quite frequently.
Yeah.
Back in the day, a lot of people lost their crops due to locust swarms, and
there's also some countries that still have to deal with that, for sure. Right?
Yeah. There was in 2020. There was this happened. Like, there's lots of shit that went down in 2020 that was biblically fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Biblical
Mother Nature
proportions.
is trying to say something and no one's listening.
Mother Nature is like laying the boots to us.
Yeah.
She's pissed.
Now Jamie's back trying to, get Wiley back on his side. He's not as elegant, of course, as Claire is. So it's a little bit more of a challenge. So it does kind of come off as a semi-threat-ish, right?
Well, and it should be. Like, this guy did, try to molest his wife, try to sexually assault her. So, guess what? He should expect, like, and especially in that day and age, wouldn't you expect to get your ass kicked or challenged to a duel or something?
Well, you think about the last wife. Time. Exactly. Last time Claire got hurt, or hit on or whatever. Yeah, it wasn't as easy, so.
Yeah. But just because Jamie doesn't feel threatened by this little puke doesn't mean that he shouldn't, face the same repercussions.
Yeah. Well, and Wiley's trying to be all smug and not working. Not working with Jamie anyway.
No.
So.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah.
Well, and there's nothing like trying to hit someone's honor back then, right?
Right.
They'll do anything to protect their honor.
Or their ego.
Exactly. And he laughs like a freaking girl. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, good, because girls are better than him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's an embarrassment to us.
That's it.
Yeah. I think he forgets, like I couldn't have just stood there and watched him smug like that. So.
Yeah. No, he needs to get his ass stomped.
Yeah, exactly.
See, he's still acting like he's, all that in a bag of chips.
And so I was completely blown away when Jamie asked her for her rings. I'm like, what are you thinking? Could you not just go to your Aunt Jocasta and ask her for some gold or something?
Right?
You have to go to your wife and say, give me your rings?
Yeah.
Oh, no, give me your ring, the one from Frank. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
I don't blame her at all for acting the way that she did.
Me neither. No.
Again, it's one of those moments we want to smack Jamie upside.
Yep. Jamie, you're being a dumbass. And she has every right to be pissed off. And him, don't you trust me? No, this is a gamble. Like, you're gambling.
And it has nothing to do with trust. Don't ask her for her wedding rings ever.
Right. It's not about trust. It's about you being, sympathetic to her emotions and to her, things that are fucking important to her.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, this doesn't have and no, I don't trust you to gamble things that are important to me. That's not a kind thing for you to ask of me.
Yeah. Is it for our future or is it for yours?
Yeah. Your pride. Oh, and I like the way that she gives them to him. She's like, here you go. You take both of them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. How do you like them apples?
Did you see the calluses on his hands? That was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a good addition.
It was.
Now they can put out the fires because they saved the crop.
Save the day. What?
Everybody and their dog.
Yeah.
Well done, Roger. He's earned some respect now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So good for him.
Well deserved, and not just him, but him and Brianna.
Yeah.
Right. Both of them together.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the Lindsays and the Kisholms and the everybody's, are, gonna have his back now.
Exactly. So now maybe they'll just stand down and take a couple of minutes next time.
Right.
But typical Scott, right? They want an answer yesterday.
Yeah.
So
the Lindsays and the Sinclairs are now happy with.
And he's happy too.
With Captain Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Oh,
crush it. Atta girl.
And
they're so cute.
Marcelly and Fergus still out there too. And you know what? Didn't matter. If you were like 7 months pregnant, you're still going to be out there with your shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, here's our Jocasta getting ready.
When I saw him come through the door, oh my God, I was so excited. I'm like, the wedding's going to be No, when Murtaugh comes through the door, I was just so excited. I'm like, yay, she's not going to marry him. Yeah. She's going to, settle down with Murtaugh.
But she can't. Murtaugh's a wanted man.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking that. He showed up on her. So, yeah, it was going to happen between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ulysses is like, Yeah, you want to be stalking around here? You get in there and you fucking talk to her.
And there was actually a cutout scene prior to Murtaugh going to see her. There
Mm-hmm.
was one with him and Ulysses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is
So
really good. And
it is really
yeah,
good.
that was
We
in the
should,
deleted scenes, right?
yeah, we should
Mm-hmm.
attach the link in our
Mm-hmm.
on our website for that.
All the time. Like we usually, when we say we should do this on the website, most of the time we don't do it.
Oh,
Just,
really?
yeah.
That's
Sometimes we do.
terrible. That's
Sometimes we
terrible.
do.
What I should do
Sometimes we
is
don't.
set a reminder.
We
Or
should.
when you re-listen to it, you can listen to all the stuff that we were going to do and just do it after.
Mm-hmm. We sometimes, I sometimes do, but then I sometimes are like, you promised to do that, not me. uh,
And she was touching his little bit of plate that he had when they
mm-hmm.
were in Art's Mirror
Yeah.
that he wasn't supposed to have
Right.
because that was treasonous.
Mm-hmm. And his brooch that holds it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, did you see
Aww.
her just kind of melt when he put his hand on her face
Yeah,
like that? Oh, I
yeah.
I absolutely cannot stand people touching my face.
Hmm.
Like I never have been able to, like it's always been something that triggers me.
Hmm.
Andrew is the only one that is allowed to touch my face, and my kids when they were babies could touch it, but not
Yeah.
like anybody else. Mm-mm-mm.
And now they're back to arguing again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Well, he wants to be with her, but he knows he can't. He's like, well, just wait for me. She can't wait for him. She cannot
No,
have all of that land, all of that money,
no.
and not have a mister because
Yep,
of the time it is. Like
yep,
they will come after it somehow. Somebody will.
yep.
And that's the thing. There has to, like, she can make all the decisions. And you see Duncan, he's very placid.
Yeah,
So, he'll just do and sign whatever she tells him to do and sign.
yeah. And the ramifications for what he is doing,
Mm-hmm.
he has to know that,
Yeah.
unfortunately, he takes his path. It's his path alone.
Yeah.
No one, he can't drag anyone else. No one can just sit by and wait for
Mm-hmm.
him,
Yeah.
And of course, this is all new. This is totally out of the realm of the book, but I love
Yeah.
the storyline.
Yeah. Same with me. And
I
as much as
loved it.
Jocasta loves him, she
Yeah.
can't follow him into
No,
this.
no.
Like number one, she's blind. Number
Yeah.
two, like she's already lived a hard life. She's already lost enough people,
Yeah.
right? And like what she has planned is at least going to assure her peace for now,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So it's
I feel bad for her. She's lost so much in
mhm,
life,
yeah. And the truth is, either way, she loses Murtaugh,
Yeah.
right? Like even if she says yes, I want to be with you,
Mm-hmm.
like he's still going to be gone for how knows how long, and the likelihood of him dying is pretty fucking high.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm,
Uh,
so
I
it's
like that they had this kind of last moment at least
mm-hmm,
together. And I was so happy. It gave me goosebumps when he said, I do love you. Because that's
mm-hmm,
the first time he said it,
yeah, and
Why didn't he say it
likely,
long time ago?
yeah, and likely the only time he's said it to a woman,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Except for maybe Ellen.
I don't know if he ever told her though that he
Really?
loved her. Yeah, I don't know if that was ever because when he was, when he was vying for her, she
Mm-hmm.
was, I think she was already in love with Brian.
Uh,
So I like when, so Murtaugh doesn't seem like the kind of man that would like verbally say I love you to a woman that wasn't already showing that she loved him.
well,
I don't
I
think he's the
wonder.
kind of guy that would put himself out there like that.
Well, I wonder if they weren't a little bit closer, because in the end she did ask him to be,
Mm-hmm. Oh, for
the
sure.
godfather.
Yeah, I
So,
think they were close, but I don't think that Murtaugh is the kind of person to all of his cards on the table
mhm,
unless he knows that the other person cares for them equally,
yeah. hmm
cares for him equally.
And I think what he's doing at this point really does supersede anything else,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Murtaugh is a fighter, do or die.
Mm-hmm.
Murtaugh, I think, will never be content just being.
Right.
He has to have purpose. Because remember, he had the conversation with Jamie
Yep.
before Culloden, right? You have a
Mm-hmm.
wife, you have a baby on the way, you have family,
Yeah.
and who's gonna grieve for me?
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. He had Jamie. That was his purpose for the longest time. He was left without him for so long. And, after Ardsmuir, and then, you know, he found a new purpose with the regulators.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
so that's it. And he can't. He loves Jocasta, but there's
hmm
oh,
And she just finished
oh
telling him all about what
mm-hmm.
happened, to
Yeah.
her daughters, and
Mm-hmm.
how broken she was, and how
Mm-hmm.
she just can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She just can't, and she won't.
Yeah.
And I think it's
She's
one of the hardest things to do.
mm-hmm. Yeah. When when you've finally built yourself back to a place that you have comfort and stability, breaking back out of that again is is really hard. Like,
Yeah.
so, why open yourself up to that vulnerability if you don't have to?
Well, and you cannot blame her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what we think about their relationship,
Yeah.
you cannot blame her for choosing to be
Mm-hmm.
at peace.
Yeah.
It may
Mm-hmm.
not have been her ideal happiness,
No.
but it's giving her some peace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, see, she even knows Murtaugh. She knows that if you make it through this, there's just going to be something else.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be something else, just like we already talked about. She knows that about him.
Yeah. He would
So,
never be at peace being the head of a home. Like,
no.
it's not like Murtaugh was always, even when he was taking care of Jamie, he was
Mhm.
still always just everywhere. Like, he was like traveling back and forth from Castle Leoch to Lollybrock to, like
Yeah.
Jamie was, in France, and he was doing this. And like Murtaugh was always like, he wasn't just like babysitting. He was like out fighting and doing shit.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I love that she gave him that, though.
mm,
Hmm.
yeah.
We
She gave
know
it
her
back to
heart
him.
is with
Yeah.
Murtaugh.
Mm-hmm.
We know, we
Mm-hmm.
even after everything, we know,
Yeah.
but she needs her mind to be on the right track
Mm-hmm.
for her sanity. I get
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
totally get that.
Well,
And there's
she's not going to keep it, but he doesn't take it with him. He puts it right back.
yeah.
He loves her. And, and
See?
I think her knowing that is going to be enough, but,
Yeah, I
but
think so
it's
too.
also not enough for him. Like,
Yeah.
and I think he has to know that as well. Right.
He
So,
doesn't want a piece of her. He
no.
wants all
Mm,
or nothing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. But he
She's
doesn't
okay.
even know what that means. I don't
Yeah.
think Murtaugh even knows what that means.
No.
Mm,
Yeah. And you were a chicken shit. You should have said it sooner.
mm. But it still wouldn't have made any difference,
No, but
you
at
know?
least,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just feel for her,
Oh gosh,
because
yes.
what she
Mm-hmm.
loves is gone again.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if she would have married him or not. He's
Right.
gone again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. It's sad.
yeah, it is sad. And this, you know, she's just going for a walk and just randomly goes to the stable.
Oh, pretty horses and everything.
Frisian. Those horses are beautiful horses.
Mm-hmm. Here's
I'm
drunk Jamie.
looking for you. And here you are. And it doesn't matter, drunk Jamie, that you've got her rings back.
Right.
Dumbass.
And, sometimes they're, like their angry sex is, like, it didn't come off so well here.
No. Just because I don't buy the whole barn thing anyway. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Like in the book again, it was some things you can just imagine so much better than they play out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I just thought of this now. This is a conversation that I would have seen them having in season 1, not the 5th season.
Right.
They know each other better than that.
Uh-huh.
There's no way they would have had this conversation. Well, they have, but it should have been in season 1.
Yeah. And see and if she was equally as drunk, then maybe they would have played like this a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
And
nah.
Yeah, it was a little bit like the whole back and forth thing. Yeah, it was,
Yeah, I know they still have that sexual tension. I get it. But it's just.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We
should have just deleted all of the barn shit and then just done something else because, so.
It was I'm just going to keep on saying it was because I just can't. It was funny. And I'm not sure exactly how.
I don't know.
Trying to figure out how he's getting in there with all those skirts and everything. So
right, I think he's used to it now.
Yeah, the angle was a little off.
Straight up and down, man. His thighs must have been burning.
Yep, no doubt. This after moment was pretty cute. Though she did get over it pretty fast, like.
Well,
not anymore, but
I would probably get over a few things too if I had Jamie banging me in a barn.
It was.
He doesn't look so drunk anymore, though.
No, he's sobered up pretty damn quick.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, the after mood is a little bit more tolerable. I think I can, but I don't know.
Well, this is a little bit more believable. They're just having a conversation in the barn, right? So, and he's just explaining what happened at the poker or the table. He won the horse, but he convinced Wiley to set up a meeting instead. So.
Whereas in the books, he took the horses, like they were big, beautiful Frisian horses, and and Wiley cried and was very sad, but he had the meeting arranged as well.
Yes.
So a little bit of everything.
And it's all, and the meeting is, the whole thing is just to get to Stephen Bonnet.
Yeah.
All of this is just playing out for them to get to Stephen Bonnet. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Instead of like just going and finding him and slitting his throat.
Yeah. Because couldn't do that or nothing.
No.
So
here's your rings back.
Sure took you long enough.
Yippers.
And if you ever take them off again, Jamie, you're gonna hear about it.
We might just have to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Big dumb man.
I'm glad Jamie doesn't give her a hard time about still wearing her ring from Frank. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's a part of who she is. It's a part of her history, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a huge discussion amongst a lot of fans too. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
fans still are like, why the hell does she still like? Oh yeah, a lot of people don't
Oh
like it
my
at
God.
all. And then some people are just hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's part of, who you are, and,
Some
he
people
raised
just
Brianna and it
mhm,
is what it is.
yeah.
So
Hey,
don't
here we
judge
go.
other people's choices.
Here's Neil. Oh,
Oh,
look,
and
they're
here's
having a little
another one with a
date.
cane.
Oh, he's like, that doesn't have any rum in it. What the fuck is this?
Exactly. It's
Mm.
tea. You're supposed to be a gentleman.
Oh, he's like, well, I look like a gentleman. I don't have to put gentleman stuff in my belly.
Yeah. Scumbag bookends.
Mm.
That's what I call them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I don't
Uh,
like, yeah.
and it's funny because Forbes is trying to like act like, well, this guy's a gentleman. That's why I'm doing business with him. It's not like he's that bad of a guy,
Yep.
So, uh,
Yikes.
and
But
now
everybody's
all
doing everything the long way. We talked about Jamie getting to Stephen Bonnet, and then we talked about Forbes getting the money. Everybody's got to go through a third party. Like,
right,
come on, we don't do anything ourselves anymore. Come on,
hmm
people, get with the program.
right, yeah. Everybody's gotta, use somebody else to get what they want.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. Well, if we did that, it would make for a very short season.
hmm That's true. That is
Yeah.
true. Oh boy, you're missing a sleeve. Try hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Tried to find a full picture of this guy that's close up so I could make pocket person of him is very difficult. And I
Oh,
know it's
really?
just a full screen there, and I might be able to do something with that, hopefully. So now
I
I've got one
wonder
to go
I
to.
wonder if you could get a shot from the wedding. Probably not a
Nope,
face on one, just a
nope,
sideways one. No?
nope,
No.
nope.
Okay.
Tried that one. Yeah. No, they have to be big enough that I can get a good screen cap of them,
Yeah.
and that's not. Uh, so there we
Oh,
go again.
okay. Another episode down.
Moments in Sistery.
So, unfortunately, sister, there isn't enough of these stories publicly out there.
No, no, there's not. And we kind of have to go and search for them. They're known within the indigenous communities. And this one is about Edith Montour, who is an incredible indigenous woman. She was born in 1890 on the Six Nations Grand River Reserve in Ontario. And whatever they said her what life was going to look like, she made it look entirely different. Not many women or Indigenous people at all were allowed to attend high school, but she did. And after she graduated, she tried applying to nursing schools in Ontario. But because Canada had his head stuck so far up its own ass, Montour was not accepted to any of the schools. That's because she was Indigenous. At the time, the Federal Indian Act prevented Native Canadian peoples from getting college degrees. Kind of makes you shudder, doesn't it? That didn't let it stop her. She decided to apply to nursing schools in the US and eventually was accepted at the New Rochelle Nursing School in New York. She graduated in 1914 and became the first Indigenous Canadian registered nurse. And she stayed in the US and worked. A few years after she became a nurse, Edith started volunteering with the US Army Nursing Corps. She trained along with 13 other Canadian nurses for 3 months. And before she left, Montour went back to visit her family in Canada. And she was given a special Mohawk burial clothing, in case she died in the war. She was only 27 years old at the time, but her courage and determination put her at the front line. When Edith completed her service, she returned to Six Nations. She continued to work as a nurse and a midwife at a hospital in her own community, and she was elected honorary president of the Oswegan Red Cross in 1939. And she lived a very long life. She died at 105.
Wow. for back then, that was absolutely incredible. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And the fact that she didn't let Canada stopping her from doing what she wanted to do.
Exactly.
And I'm like completely blown away that she was even able to do it in the US, if we're being really honest.
Oh, for
right?
sure. I think it might have been just because they didn't have any laws stating anything about Indigenous people.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they weren't even recognizing them as people by having something written about them for not being, right?
Mhm.
Like, so it wasn't like, well, Indigenous people can't do this, because they weren't even saying that they could do it or they couldn't do it, right? Like with
Yeah.
blacks, it was like, no, blacks can't do this,
Mhm.
right? So I have the feeling that might have been more along the lines of what was going on there. And
Yeah.
it was like kind of like the red tape just didn't exist.
And the
So,
fact that she made it past the front lines of the war as well, like,
yeah,
what an
she was,
incredible
and
woman.
she did, like, I know she had like 5 children, got married. But honestly, when I was going through her story, I was like, that's not her accomplishments. Like,
No.
those weren't her big accomplishments because that all happened after she went back to Six Nations, and she completed, like she continued doing the things that she did. But all of the things that she accomplished in her young life and pushed forward, she did that before she got married and had children.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Those weren't her huge accomplishments. And I just, hats off to that woman. Yeah, she didn't let the country that she was born in stop her from doing what she knew she could do.
Well, she left, she did it, and she came back to her own community, right? So we want to hear your stories. Do you have someone in your family, that has stories that have gone down from generation to generation? Or is it a mom or a sister that have been doing incredible things outside the box? We want to hear it. So you can visit us at sissues.ca, or you can visit us on any of our social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.